All right, well, it has been a while, but it's time for another road trip, which I was the only one who was ready for that.
Road trip.
So we are heading out on another road trip. We'll talk about it more, where we're going, what we're doing, but we are going to get on the road right now and hope you enjoy coming along with us. All right, well, we are on our way. We are heading out to Terre Haute, Indiana. We're going down to visit with family. We will walk you through kind of the trip down, the trip back, the chargers we're stopping at, what our efficiency is, what there is around the chargers. Actually, our first and hopefully only stop on the way down there is at the relatively new V3 supercharger at Fair Oaks, Indiana. Now, we have been to Fair Oaks several times. Stayed there.
Love Fair Oaks.
So if you haven't watched our prior videos of some of our road trips or the trip to Fair Oaks in particular, I will put a link to those down in the description. We started with, I think it was 97% charge. I'm guessing that because we're at 96 now and we just left. And it is saying we'll get into Fair Oaks, Indiana at 4:26 p.m. with 12%. And then we will need to charge for 25 minutes to be able to get to our hotel in Terre Haute, Indiana. All right, so that took a grand total of what, 45 seconds? And let me show you the view we've got right now.
The orange cones are out. So pretty.
Let's take a guess. How many construction stops do you think we'll have on the way down there?
3.
Yeah, I was going with 3 too.
I said it first. Interesting.
I guess I am going to go with what I'm pretty sure is a loser guess, which is 2. All right, we are on 94. We are just about to I-65 to head south in Indiana, and we are at road construction number 2. Technically, it's 2 miles ahead of us, and we get off the highway in 1.4 miles, so we will not go through it, but it's been very, very slow traffic till actually just now. The neat thing to see is they've actually added quite a few superchargers in this I-94 corridor, I guess you'd call it. There's, I think, 4 different supercharger stops within about a 20-mile area. All right, well, we are about to get on I-65, start heading south toward Fair Oaks Farms, and I imagine that's probably where we'll check in with you next and see how close we cut it on the battery. All right, and just like that, we just got through road construction number 3. No sooner had we got on I-65 and there was construction, and that one we definitely went through. Interestingly enough, we also just started preconditioning about 25, 26 miles out from the supercharger. If you are not familiar yet with the energy graph and the energy consumption information that is available to you in your Tesla while you are driving, you gotta check it out. It provides you a ton of interesting information. And there was a big update, a few software updates back, and it gives you a ton of information showing you where you're using more energy than it predicted, where you're using less energy. We should be to Fair Oaks in about 20 minutes, and we will check in with you then. All right, we have arrived, and it came in at 9%. That's what we arrived with. 180 miles, 62 kilowatt hours used, and efficiency of 347 watt hours per mile. And it says range tips. I love this kind of thing. 9.3 mile an hour wind from the southeast cost us 1.5%. It's not ideal conditions, so the 347 watt hours a mile, I guess I'm not too upset with that. Normally, I'd like to see right around 300 or a smidge over that. I forgot to mention, and that was with a very, very quick pit stop because, as I've said in prior videos, I don't need any more range than this particular vehicle has because my bladder does not have more range. I didn't even make it the 2.5 hours. I'm not getting any younger, people. So I am gonna go ahead and we'll get plugged in and let's take a look and see what kind of a charge rate we get. I'm hoping we'll see 250. Fair Oaks Farms, very, very cool location. I was very excited to see them put a supercharger in here. They even have trash cans down there. There's another one back over here, but let's get plugged in and see what kind of a charge rate we get. I'm gonna want to watch right there where my thumb is. 180, still ramping, 188. Let's zoom in closer.
Dun, dun, dun.
213, 226, 254. Oh,
Fabulous.
256. 256 kilowatts. That is the highest rate I have ever got.
Good job, Fair Oaks.
And 256 kilowatts, in case you're wondering, comes out to 930 miles an hour.
57. This stage
257, and then it just went down to 255. Okay, this is crazy. We just plugged in. I've been recording the whole time. You've seen this, although I probably cut it a few times. We are already at 16%. So 7%, and what was that? A minute and a half?
Very short.
2 minutes? Here's the actual supercharger. We got a few friends down there. It's a 12 stall, I believe. Over there, you got the Fairfield Hotel. That has been on one of our prior videos. And then this is their restaurant right here. Really good. Over there, they've got a kind of an adventure thing. I don't know how to describe it. They talk a lot about farming and everything. They actually have tours you can take over here, and you go back beyond those buildings, and that's where we've done apple picking and other things like that. That is their store right there. They have a little cafe in there, but they have like souvenirs and stuff you can get. Over there is the gas station. So all in all, I mean, this is a really, really cool location. There's a lot of things to do right here. There's not much to do once you get out and around here, but you're gonna have places to eat, and they've got a place to stay with a Fairfield hotel that, if you didn't notice from earlier in the video, it actually does kind of look like a barn. But there's other things. There's flower picking during certain seasons. There's apple picking like I talked about. They have a lot of activities out there, and it doesn't hurt that they've got a version 3 supercharger here that, as you already saw, has some pretty killer charge rates. So basically 25 minutes to go from 9% to 81%. We're already going to arrive now when the 20%'s to Terre Haute, which is more than we needed. And just to give you an idea, at 81%, we are still charging at 54 kilowatts. We will check in with you when we get there, and if we come across anything fun on the way, we will share that with you as well. So we'll see you. All right, we have arrived at the Terre Haute Tesla supercharger at the Meijer. Looking at our efficiency here, since the charge at Fair Oaks, we went 129 miles, used 43 kilowatt hours of energy, and our efficiency was 332 watt hours a mile. Now that's a little closer to what I would expect. And then for the entire trip from Grand Rapids, Michigan down to Terre Haute, Indiana, we had 309 miles, used 105 kilowatt hours of energy, and an efficiency of 341 watt hours per mile. I am going to get out, I'm going to plug in, and then we'll see what kind of a charge rate we get here. This is a version 2 supercharger, so it's going to max out at 150. I'm guessing we'll get close. I'm going to guess we're going to get somewhere between 140 and 145. 144, so we're right about where I said we'd be. And now I'm going to go eat some dinner at Culver's, and unless something really exciting happens, we'll see you tomorrow. All right, well, good morning. It is day 2. It is rainy, overcast, supposed to be stormy. So today, what we are planning to do is drive to Indianapolis, about an hour and 10 minutes, and go to the Indianapolis Children's Museum. We've heard a lot about it. I'll try and splice in some footage and fun along the way. So. All right, well, we are done with the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. The part I thought that was the coolest was actually the outdoor sports thing.
That was really cool. You could play, I think, like 12 different sports. They have a new Minecraft exhibit, a very, 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 very long wait.
Yeah, it was like 35 minutes, and that was one of the lower waits of the day. I mean,
Yeah,
I know what Minecraft is. I'm not super into it, but I definitely would not wait for it again.
But I don't think it was worth the wait.
Yep, definitely a children's museum, which makes sense because that's what it's called. So we're heading back to the Terre Haute area, about an hour and 20 minutes. Looks like we're supposed to get back there with like 20%, so that'll be round trip. It was 93 miles since we charged last night. About 80 miles from yesterday to get to family's house and then get here. And then about 70 miles back there. And then we're going to have to hit the supercharger on our way back to the hotel tonight. All right, so on the road again. So one thing I do have to say is, as far as charging goes, there is not really anything on the way back to Terre Haute. So I will just say that there is. I was just about to say there's nothing really on the west side of Indianapolis, but that's not true. There is. It's just kind of really out of the way for us. There's a decent amount in the northern suburbs, and I think I saw one south. But once you get just west of Indianapolis, there really is nothing until you get to the Terre Haute supercharger. So we're trying to figure out now whether we're going to go and try and charge up a little bit before to go to family's house for dinner, or if we're just going to go to the family's house. Well, we made the decision. We are going to family's house, and it said originally 15%, and now it's saying we'll get there with 19%. We're going to head over to their house and have dinner, and after that we will head to the supercharger and charge. We will plan on seeing you tomorrow for day number 3. All right, welcome to day 3. Last night was interesting, pretty severe storms. There was a tornado about half an hour south, I think, of where we're at. Today, we are heading to the Terre Haute Airport Vintage Runway Market.
Yes.
Which will be interesting because it is really windy out. And then probably get lunch and everything there. And then we're splitting up after that. They are going shopping at a bargain bins place. How could
dig around.
How could I forget?
Try to find some good deals.
I'm going back to the office to do a little bit of work. So, and then we'll meet up probably at dinner, I'm guessing, is how that will all play out. All right, so I have no idea how the audio is going to pick up on this, but that's the tent. We just went in a tent there, little knick-knack, crafty things. And then you've got some places to eat back behind me. And now we are walking to the hangar, which has other stuff in it. And we'll show you around inside the hangar as well. Hopefully this audio comes through okay so you can hear me. Out on the ramp here, they got all sorts of other stuff you can see behind me. And they even got a plane back there. See the plane back there? That's kind of cool. I see my son is taking my nephew. See him over there? Taking my nephew to see the plane. So let's... All right, so it is so crazy cold and windy out there. We have decided that we are going to go to the restaurant that is inside the hangar. And it's kind of a cool little pilot shop here too. I'll show you around here real quick. But we are going to eat at the little cafe in here where there's heat and it's not 50-mile-an-hour winds. Well, we were done. It's called the Corsair Cafe. The food was great. Interestingly enough, because of the storms that came through last night, the Tesla supercharger in Terre Haute is down. They have no power. That is in the parking lot of a Meijer. Meijer has no power. There's a Walmart across the street where there's actually some CCS chargers, and the Walmart's down. My guess is they're going to get all that up and running pretty quickly. So I am going to now head back to the hotel to work, and the rest of the family is heading to some kind of a bargain bins, like Amazon surplus store kind of a thing. So we will go our separate ways, and we'll see what the rest of the day holds. All right, well, not too much recording yesterday. So today we are going back to the Corsair Cafe. They have a coffee flight of various coffees, so we'll show you that stuff. There's at least 2 of us that are excited about it. That might be the only 2. Then after breakfast, we're not quite sure what's going to be going on with the rest of the day, but we will let you know, and if we deem it worthy, we'll bring you along with us. Well, that was fun. Breakfast burrito there was really good, and
so good.
It was a lot.
They had this hot sauce cream that was amazing.
And then we actually got to look out on the ramp here at the airport and watch a plane or 2 take off. So that was kind of fun. We are now going to head over to family's house. Not sure what the rest of the day holds. but we will find out when we get there. All right, and after much debate, the decision was made that we are going to IKEA. It's on the north side of Indianapolis, so that's where we're on our way to right now. We're actually about 10 minutes away from there, and got to see beautiful downtown Indianapolis with the Lucas Oil Stadium. I believe there are some ChargePoint chargers, level 2 chargers, out in front. So we'll most likely get hooked into that since we're arriving with about 25%, and then we'll walk around IKEA for a little bit. Now, it's not what I wanted to do, but you can see the ChargePoint charger over there. Unfortunately, there's a Jeep E something parked over here. Now they're plugged in, but this is the only option we have, was to plug into this one and then stretch it all the way down there. Now thankfully it stretches. There's a little bit of tension on it, but you can see, I mean, the cord still could stretch a little bit further. Heading on into IKEA. We are done with IKEA. We got some knickknacks and things. On the way back, we are at 43%. Let me give you the stats on that ChargePoint charger. We charged for 2 hours and 25 minutes. Interestingly enough, I'm used to those being about 7 or 8 kilowatt chargers, and it wasn't. I mean, we charged it like 5.91 was the average, looking at the information. 2 hours and 25 minutes, 14.31 kilowatt hours added, for a grand total of $2.51. So estimated miles we got from that was about 72 miles. And actually, it's probably a little bit more than that. There's my wife. So we are going to head to the charger in Speedway, Indiana, not to be confused with a gas station Speedway, not to be confused with the fact that this supercharger is at a gas station, not named Speedway, but it's in Speedway, Indiana.
That is confusing.
It is incredibly confusing.
Speedway, but not Speedway.
Oh, it says we could get all the way to the Terre Haute one and we'd have 9%. Do we try it or do we not try it?
Don't. I'm not really. I'm more risk averse. I like to plan ahead.
9%'s not bad.
Some extra cushion.
All right. Well, we're gonna try out a new supercharger then in Speedway, Indiana. So we will check in with you at Speedway, Indiana. All right. So welcome to Speedway, Indiana at the Get Go Gas, not the Speedway gas station. I will show you the supercharger here in just a moment, but there you go. We started at 230 something. Now we're down to 198 already, but that's because we arrived with 30%. All right, so the Get Go Gas is back here. Here's the supercharger. You've got a lot of things. You got a Denny's, you got a Taco Bell. On the other side, you got a Freddy's, Chipotle, Starbucks drive-through. There's just a lot of stuff around here. It's kind of a cool setup. This would be the one, I think, on the west side of Indy that you'd probably end up charging at. I did see one in Carmel, Indiana, and that one said it was what I think are called urban superchargers, limited to 72 kilowatts. So we made sure to come to this one since it's a V3. So I'm gonna just hop in there and then we will see you in Terre Haute for the final time. All right, well, we're at Terre Haute, checking in from the Terre Haute supercharger one last time. At the Speedway, Indiana one, like, we went to the restroom quick, grabbed some sodas, and we were on our way. It was quick, and we got 29% charge in not even 10 minutes.
It's a very short.
It's probably 6 or 7 minutes, which is why I love version 3 superchargers. We will check in with you in the morning for the drive home. All right, and with that, our trip comes to an end. Not the road trip itself yet, though. So final day, it's head home day, and it's the nicest weather day, of course. So anyway, we are getting on the road here and have a couple of superchargers we're going to stop at. One that is almost brand new. As far as I'm aware, it's only been around for 2 or 3 weeks, so we're going to stop there. All right, well, we have arrived at the Fair Oaks supercharger.
A little scary of a drive.
Yeah, driving through one of the little towns, hit a pothole right on the other side of a set of railroad tracks, which is interesting because it was the railroad tracks I was slowing down for. Did not even see it until I was right on it, and it was a doozy. It was for real. Well, let's put it that way. Enough that it scared me, which kind of takes a lot.
And me.
What I did notice pretty immediately is the car was pulling to the right, so clearly there was something wrong, thinking alignment and everything. So we did pull over. I got out and took a look. I mean, the wheel, I don't see any cracks on the wheels. I don't see any separation. I don't see anything like that. And it's held tire pressure, but definitely alignment issue.
Tons of alerts flashing.
Well, not immediately. So we kept going, and I put it on autopilot just to see what would happen, and it did put up a warning because it was having to fight against the pulling as well, and it said alignment, service needed, okay to drive, schedule service appointment soon. And then it was probably 10 minutes later, all sorts of alerts and beeps and everything.
Everything's disabled.
I'll show you what I got going on. So if we go into our notifications, emergency braking's off, traction control's off. I'm basically to a 1960s vehicle at this point. I have no autopilot. I got no cruise. And now it's a steering alignment needs adjusted, service is required. I mean, it drives fine. It just drives like a car that doesn't have any of the creature comforts we've come to know and love. We're going to go ahead and get plugged in. We're not going to actually be here very long, just long enough to get a little bit of charge, and then go to the restroom and stuff. And then I'm probably going to go ahead and try and schedule the service appointment while we're sitting here. Real quick, I do want to give you kind of efficiency numbers and everything like that. From Terre Haute, 123 miles, 36 kilowatt hours used, 296 watt hours a mile. I will say that was actually at about 270, 275 before our little accident there. We'll probably just get on the road to the next stop because at this point I kind of just want to get home, but it's the next stop that we wanted to do a little bit more with as far as getting lunch and everything like that, because that is the new supercharger that I will tell you about when we get there. So, all right, well, we have arrived in Chesterton, Indiana, which is the new supercharger I told you about. The first time I heard about this being live was about 2 to 3 weeks ago. It's on the corridor that's 80, 90, 94, if you're familiar with traveling to Chicago from Michigan or Indiana or Wisconsin or Iowa or any place that's west or east. There is a lot of stuff here as far as food and gas stations and stuff like that. Of course, I don't care about the gas stations, but I do care about the supercharger. So real quick, I'm going to show you the efficiency. So you can see since the last charge right here, we're at 56 miles and 19 kilowatts, 339 watt hours per mile. And total for the trip from Terre Haute, you can see right there. We'll cover that more when we're all said and done. All the error messages coming across my screen, you can see there. So I'm going to hop out. We are going to get hooked into the supercharger, see what kind of rate we get because we're at 31%. I'm guessing we'll probably hit just over 200 kilowatt. All right, we're plugged in. Will we hit 200? It's just creeping up. Here we go. We're doing it. 200 kilowatts. All right, so now we're back down. So this is the site itself. You've got 12 stalls. You've got all sorts of stuff. So you've got Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, Taco Bell, McDonald's is over there. We're actually right next to, this is an Arby's. There's a restaurant there named Namaste India. There's a restaurant there called the Craft House. You've got a BP gas station right there, so for your convenient stuff. Lots of stuff around here. And then on the other side of the road, which you can't see, but it's over there, you've got a bunch of other places to eat. Because of that convenience, now I am going to join my family and we're gonna go get something to eat, hopefully calm down a little bit from the experience so far that we've had on this fun trip home. All right, as you can see, I'm without a family at this point, and that is because we are home. They are working on getting everything unpacked. All right, so there they are unpacking behind us. So let's take a look at efficiency since the last chart and overall for this trip back from Terre Haute. All right, so since our last charge there in Chesterton, it looks like we got distance of 126 miles, 43 kilowatt hours of energy, and 339 watt hours a mile. And then overall from Terre Haute, coming back up, the whole trip back, 304 miles, 98 kilowatt hours of energy, and 321 watt hours a mile for efficiency. That's not too terribly bad. Nor was the round trip. So round trip down here, 1,045 miles, 339 kilowatt hours of energy, and 325 watt hours per mile. Again, I'd like to see that closer to 300 watt hours a mile, but it's not like we had like super good weather or anything like that. If you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind clicking subscribe down below or throw us a thumbs up. I hope you enjoyed coming along with us, the unexpected things and all. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Thanks for... All right, it's been a while, but it's time for another...
You'll need to unlock your iPhone first.
Blooper reel! Another blooper reel! Woohoo!
It had nothing to do with anything. I'm just saying.
Okay, all right, so I'm just gonna... Ooh. My daughter's got allergies. Can you tell?
Yeah.